Hello, everyone. We're live now. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're connecting from. I'd like to know where you're connecting from. You can leave that at the chat box. I can get to see your name and knowing where you're connecting from, where you're located. And we're glad we are here today and another exciting episode. I have a special guest with me. Her name is Melissa Williams. I'm so excited she's here. I know she has a busy schedule, but she has taken time to honor us by being on this show. And before I go into the show proper, I like to just do a little introduction of who the speakers are.
Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's the John Maxwell team. Our certified members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today.
Welcome to another episode of Making a Difference with Sandra Ukoh, a live show that brings people on the platform where we can glean from, where we alight and also celebrate and recognize leaders who dare to make a difference from all over the world for doing great things in their world. I believe there's a giant in you waiting to be discovered in a nest. You have within you right now all that you need to become that change agent and best version of you that God has made you to be. It is time to ignite you and discover your greater potential and to see the possibilities that exist within you to maximize your potential through this unique platform for mentoring and coaching, and how we can become better versions of ourselves after being through the stage of survival to success and to living a life of significance, where we can leverage the power of storytelling as a strong communication tool. So let's celebrate these leaders and join us on another incredible segment of Making a Difference live show with your host, Sandra Ukoh. You're welcome. Yeah, thank you so much for being on this show. Welcome, 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 welcome. And like before I bring our guest, I'd like to just read about what she's up to, what she's doing in her work, and how she's daring to make a difference in her world. Melissa Sandy Wilson is a purpose-driven educator. She's a speaker and author, plus one who values wisdom and who is determined to create change through service to others. She has a personality that is sprinkled with unspeakable joy, with a dose of generosity and empathy. Because of her calm nature and a determination to strive forward through difficulty, this sparked the ultimate passion. Overall is to serve, educate, and grow one person at a time. At the age of 42, the thought of returning to college seemed unimaginable. While attending Beulah Heights University, she would find herself with an unexplainable excitement towards leadership, targeting servant leadership, seeking further understanding and knowledge from an academic perspective. This newfound love interests gave birth to the Creative Connection Group, whose vision seeks to develop servant leaders through using the fruit of the Spirit as a character strengthening strategic method of transformation. What a pleasant surprise to embark on a teaching journey as a paraprofessional with the exceptional special children that requires an extra dose of love, attention, and care. She's a compassionate teacher who plants seeds daily that would eventually grow into greatness. Awesome. With a background of leadership roles and responsibilities such as pastoral assistant, organization management, board member of Yale's Youth Empowerment Leading Learning Services, nonprofit organization geared towards youth, Society of Women in Theology, a non-for-profit organization that uses their platform to encourage and empower and support individuals, others, serves various communities through volunteering assisting other organizations that provide food and clothing assistance to our homeless families. Additionally, Melissa assists with other organizations with the goal of making an impact in each and every person we connect with. Stay tuned. Melissa Sandy Wilson, radical servant leader, always seeking organic and innovative ways of building connectivity between communities and people. And we're excited to have her tonight. So great to have you.
Thank you so much,
Hey, you're welcome. I'm
everybody.
excited to have you. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
And I've just read your resume as a servant leader. Is there anything I didn't read that you're doing presently that you probably want to speak about before we go into the questions?
There is one thing, Sandra. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is a pleasure
Thank you.
to sit before you and just to share great things that are going on. One particular thing I did not mention, I just joined an organization that helps mentor women in prison.
Wow.
I've never heard of that before. This is brand new for me. I'm excited to be on this journey to talk to other women, to get them to see something different, even in their circumstances and their challenges that they're facing behind bars, but reminding them that they're free in their mind. And that's going to be a task to have. So,
Awesome. That's a great one.
mhm,
Wow. That's a great one.
mhm.
At least you're actually empowering them, even though they're in a situation that they cannot help themselves, but at least whilst being there, they can be useful, doing
Yes,
other things with their life, and they can grow.
yes,
You know, being pitiable to them wouldn't do anything but empathizing with them, seeing how you can empower them by, personal development, like what you're rightly doing, visiting them at the prison, showing them more love, and being very present to them. That's a great one. And some of them don't even have family members who check on them. So having loved ones coming to just, check on them and show them some love, that's very encouraging. Thank you so much. That's
you're welcome.
awesome. I like to find out, I just find out that a lot of degrees, different groups. What's your passion? What's driving you to doing all this?
Oh man, what's driving me is that when I was young, my grandmother and my grandfather used to take me around, volunteer at different organizations. Truth be told, I did not like doing it. I really thought it was, I just thought I was being punished, and they just dragging me places, and I don't want to go. I just want to be a kid. I want to play outside, and did not know that there was a bigger picture. They took me to different communities with people that were not respected. And I had not seen that because I had not grown up that way. And they took me into places that now I value. People that didn't have families to come check on them, veterans that had torn ligaments or no ligaments at all, but they just needed someone to come and sit with them and just say, "Hey, how's it going?" And just listen.
Oh,
Volunteering at the church, in the food line, and this one time not eating all the food, but actually giving the food out to the people and enjoying doing that. And I watched my grandmother make a big impact in my life. And I wondered, how did she be this person that everybody loved? And I was so protective of her. So instead of me gaining the volunteer experience, I became her protector. And in exchange, she became the one that taught me to serve. And I believe that all of this comes from her. I believe the Lord did that to show me what my purpose would be later on in life. I was just too young to see it. I enjoy seeing people who feel left out, feel included. I love giving to those who don't believe that they deserve it. I love being around the people that have been forgotten because I understand what that is. And there is nothing else that I would love to do more than to serve, educate,
awesome.
and help them grow.
Awesome. That's a great one. And that's what we actually called to do. We actually call servant leader, just
Yes,
like our master did. Jesus
yes,
was also a servant leader. If you remember when he washed the feet of the disciples,
yes,
that's the least, you don't expect a king and a leader to do that to his followers. But that shows a lot of humility. He shows a lot of humility and love for the people. And so,
yes,
and that's what you are actually, and that's what we're called to do, to be a servant leader, to go out there to serve people, not what we can gain from them, but what can we give to them? How can we impact them? How can we be, a blessing to them, and not what we can get from them. Because we have a lot of leaders out there thinking, oh, what can I make from this group of people? But beyond that, we're called to be a servant leader. Thank you so much. That's a great task, and that's a great one you're doing. You are doing something that only posterity would reward you. Yes, you might not get a reward here on earth, but God Himself would. He says, when you take care of this less privileged one, you wonder, oh, when did I do that to God? But you are actually doing it to Him because you're taking care of the less privileged, the ones that cannot help them. And if you remember, He said, God lifts the solitary and place them in families. So you are actually shielding them and you are becoming that family for them so that they don't look down on themselves or see the worst side of life, which is a great one you're doing. And that's how we can make a difference in our world. I tell people, I said, it's not about money,
No.
beyond money. We have a skill, we have something inside of us that God has input in us. It might just be your love, your smile, might just be your readiness to, share with people, be a good listener that you heard, and you can be a blessing to others. Some people want to be listened to. Some people want to be nurtured. Some people want love. Some people want to someone else to embrace them and show them love and guide them, show them how to do things. And that's what you are doing already. That's awesome. That's a great word. And particularly, I actually wanted to find out, how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this now about 15 years.
Wow.
I first went to my first church as I became an adult, and I found the church on my own. I was pulled into position, and a great, great man saw something great in me that I never knew was in me. Yes, I grew up with a great grandmother and a grandfather that instilled different things in me, but I didn't believe that. I just didn't believe it. I made different decisions, and my decisions did not equal up to what they said. But once I became an adult, a friend of mine brought me to the church, and I met an excellent man that exactly changed my life, my mindset. And he saw something in me and gave me a chance to prove that I was chosen. And I absolutely had
Awesome.
changed my life. It changed.
Oh, and that's why I actually said to someone, was it? Oh, yesterday. Okay. I had a live session with someone yesterday. And when we were speaking, I said, people would like to see examples and not just what you tell them to do. They want you to represent and they follow your footstep. And that's why, in a nutshell, it is said that an example is what twice an instruction.
Yes.
Because when you show people what you want them to do, it's easy for them to follow you, to imbibe and copy what you do, rather than telling them what you want them to do. And that's why you find that in schools, our kids are being taught with pictures. They're being taught with, rhymes, because
Yes.
what you make them do, it is said that repetition is the key to learning. What you do, people want to repeat it. And as you keep repeating it, he says when you see words that are appearing more than once in a session or in a book, it's for repetition. And repetition is the key to learning. And a lot of times when you have repetition, people say it's for emphasis. That
Mhm.
means there's a particular thing you need the person to see or to
Yeah.
grab from reading the passage. And that's why over time, there's repetition in some books that you read or some lessons that you take in school,
Yes.
just to emphasize the importance of those words and things you need to do. That's a great one you're doing. And your grandparents were a good model for you to follow. And that's why the three things I tell people you must do and you must avoid: the resources that you allow inside of you. What I meant by resources is, what are the resources? What are the book? What is the TV screen or showtime you watch on the TV? And
Hmm.
what is the phone? What are the content you get from your phone? There are three places you can get: either you read great stuff, either you're on the phone doing great stuff, or you're watching something great from the TV screen. Oh, that's the first one, resources that come inside of you. Two, who are the people you hang around? Who
Yes.
are the people that speak into your life? You've got to be careful because sometimes you have wrong people around you who speak negative. And if you don't break out of that circle, you get to become that negative minded person. And it is said that an alting person, art people, just very few alting people make up their mind to say, oh, because I have been alt in time past, doesn't mean I have to hurt other people that come my way. And
True.
again, the third one is, what environment do you find yourself? Are you in an abusive environment? Is the environment a conducive environment for you to grow, for you to improve? These are things we need to watch out, and even for our loved ones and the people we have around us. You want to find out what resources they are exposed to, who are the people that hang around them, and what environment do they find themselves. So these are areas, you just spoke about. You have the right people, you have the right resource, you have the right environment. And that's why you're grown to you became a great adult who is self-driven, who wants to be an impactor, who wants to bless others with all the virtues and the potentials that he or she has in her. And that's a great one for me, knowing that, oh, a lot has been put in you, and in return, you are giving back to your community. Because I tell people, I said, beyond just trying to survive, beyond being a success, the most important reason why we are here on this side of the planet is living a life of significance. A
Yeah.
life of significance, a life of giving back to the community, giving back to the people around you, giving back to everyone you know, and even the ones you do not know. And the sense that somebody blessed you, and in return, you want to be a blessing to others. And if everyone keeps doing that, the world will be a better place for us to occupy and to live in. Yes, I want to find out from you. I see your bio that you wrote that you're a radical servant leader educator, seeking organic and innovative way of building connectivity between communities and people. How has that journey been so far for you? Have you been able to manage?
So
Did you get my
it's been a
question?
challenge. That's my-
Did you get my
It's been
question?
a
Did you get what I said?
ma'am, can you hear me?
I think we have some technical issues, internet. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but it's breaking from your end.
Can you hear me now?
Sure, very
Oh,
good now.
great. You asked me about being a radical servant leader.
Yes, and how far have you been able to go?
The journey has been very challenging. It has been. One of the things that I believe that makes us radical is doing something that we don't believe that we're capable of doing.
Sure.
So in 2020, 21, I wrote a book about ashes to beauty, which is the t-shirt that I'm wearing now.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure because I like to write in my journal. I've never written a book before. The book Ashes to Beauty would expose things about me that I would not discuss with people at all. A therapist, yes, but just the open audience, different people that I do not know, is not something that I would do. I'm very personal. I like to just deal with things and then I'll talk about it later. Ashes to Beauty made me open up and to identify how to love God during pain. And that's what I believe has made me radical because God had to show me Himself during a very painful time in my life, one of the most painful ones, and that He was still there. And because I had been in the church, because I had heard people say it, I did not go back and do the work for myself. Ashes to Beauty, He made me write it out. I lived it out. And now I can say how God has been there. He brings your ashes into beauty, and not just outside, but inwardly. It brings about the characteristics of the fruit of the Spirit. So I love that being radical, being different, now telling the story of not the pain, but the progress and how the journey has been challenging, but it's the best thing that has happened to me in my life. I've experienced things I've never experienced before. I'm meeting people I never met before. I'm coming out of a comfortable climate and I'm enjoying life for real, for real. And not just on paper, but in person.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's a great one you just said. Even being in pain and still going out of your way to love, that's a great one. You find that when people are in pain, it's a painful moment for them. But knowing that in pain you can still love God, that's a great one. I often will tell people that there is no gain without a pain.
Mm.
You've got to go through it. And it might be tough, but you just have to go through it. The journey is not promised to be smooth. It's not promised to be,
Yes.
gold. So you've got to go through it. But even
Yes.
whilst going through it, you've got to be in the right mindset,
Yes.
because there are two things that happen to you when you go through challenges. It
Yes.
either makes you better or mar you,
Yes.
either by the decision you make. And we have been given the greatest power in the world, the power of decision making. God
Yes.
will never force you to do anything against your wish. He's
Yes.
given us the power to decide where you want to go, where you want to be, and what you want to do. And that's why, if you remember, when the Tower of Babel was being built,
Mhm.
so look at these people. They are united, and they would do anything they want to do if you let them be. And that was why the languages came, everybody said speaking in diverse tongues. And when once the people became different because of the language, they could not continue. And that's why when you're in agreement and unison with anyone, you do a lot, you achieve more than when you're in disagreement. And that's why I tell people, I said, before you embark on any journey, find out who are your cheerleaders. Find out people who would encourage you. Find out people who are, motivator, who will tell you the truth. Not people who will sing your praises and
Yes.
just behind you they say something else. And
Yes.
so you don't share your dreams to just everyone you see on the street.
Sure.
You've got to find out the right people to share your dreams. Some people don't have a dream, but they're dream killers. They're dream crushers. So you don't share your dream with just anyone on the street. Like you rightly said, you've got to go through the pain in
Yes.
order for you to make the gain. And there is no success without pain.
Yes.
Success itself is an uphill task. It's easy to come down. It's easy to fall. It's easy to break, bring down a 10-story building, a high-rise building, but very difficult to put together. Putting the foundation and building it to 10 floors is a lot of work. And so success is not an easy journey. It could be rough, but you can do it. It is said that everything that we need to become our best version is inside of us and around us. God has given us people, destiny helpers,
Yes.
destiny catalysts, loved ones, and people who could be of help. So
Yes.
we've got to look beyond our situations,
Yes.
look outside the box, and see those opportunities and see those things that God has provided for us. So even in the midst of your challenges, you've got to look outside the box. You've got
Yes.
to look beyond your pain by extending that love to others. And in doing that, you get help too.
Yes, ma'am.
That's why I tell people, I say, when you think, oh, I'm giving a lot of my time to helping people, you are also actually growing too. Yes, you think you're giving, but you're growing. And that's why it is said, he that tends to withhold thinks he's amassing a lot of wealth, but he is tending towards poverty. But he that tends to give out freely and abundantly tends towards abundance. You want to say something? I heard you saying something.
Yes, I do want to add when you talked about what else about the journey, not just challenging, but it also pushed me to ask for help. And I strongly encourage everyone that's looking, the Lord is sending people to help. And these people want to help. And they're great at what they do. And they're skilled to do it. And it's so nothing wrong with asking for help. Like it's the best I'm learning on this journey. Ask for help. I love being around people who know what I don't know. So it makes our conversation different. It helps both of us learn and grow. And it goes with the scripture, iron does sharpen iron. And
So
I
would a man sharpen his contents of his frame.
Yes. So I love that part. Yes, ask for help. It works. It works. It really does.
We actually meant to ask you one of the reasons people use questions. Questions that just help you
Hmm.
understand your topic better.
Yes.
Like you're rightly speaking. And say, ask for help. I could ask you, what kind of help?
Hmm.
When I ask those questions, it helps me further understand what type of help you're talking about.
Yes.
So when we ask questions, these do not only help you to get help from people, But Father help you to have a clarity of purpose. Father
Yes.
helps you to understand your topic or whatever the issues are. So going out of your way to ask for help is a great character, is a great virtue. Rather than just keep your mouth shut. It is
Yes.
said when you speak out, your problem is 50% solved. Rather
Yes.
than keeping your mouth mute. We've had people who never called for help and they got drawn. So in asking for help is the rightful thing. And that's why when we pray, God lead me to destiny helpers. Lead me to people who can be of help to me.
Yes.
Embrace those help when they come. Don't
Please.
feel too big or too high up there and you say no. So what's the essence of you praying and asking for helpers? We ask for helpers, but when the helpers come, we tend to want to be, oh, I'm the big girl, I'm the big guy. Let's put that away.
Yes.
That's why we said here, we're not meant to work everything. Because I see a lot of people say, I have to work and be rich. No one was promised wealth by working hard.
True.
God is the only one that gives us the power to make wealth. So
Yes.
yes, I have some people who work around the clock. But if you check them, they never work. They live from hand to mouth. And they're under pressure to meet and pay their bills. But you find that those who depend upon God for help really comes. The little they make is more than enough to take care of their bills, and they are contented
Mm.
because God sent ready help in time when we need them. So
Yes.
we need to embrace them and
Yes.
go with such help. You want to say something?
Oh, no, no, go ahead. I love it.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about the creative connection group you spoke about? I saw that in your resume and I said, oh, well, I'm going to find out from you what this means.
The Creative Connection Group is an idea first, and eventually it should be a nonprofit second that
Oh,
will
good.
cohesively bring people together to serve and to educate and to grow them. The first example of the Creative Connection Group is those that write books, authors that'll be able to share their stories and helping other people to understand that they're not by themselves. Second, underneath that umbrella will be education. So there'll be servant leadership books that'll help others to come alongside. We build and grow together and we instill in others how to be your best servant self. And then third, how we grow, we'll reach back and touch the young people. And we'll begin to talk to them about things that they're not able to talk about right now. And we're going to bring some radicalness to it because we're going to talk about God at a young age. And we're going to talk about what does God see in you? How do you see God at a young age? And being able to have that conversation with children. I'll
Awesome.
start with parents, of course. But that's the umbrella, the Creative Connection Group. So there's education in it. There's the books. Then there's the servanthood. We'll do volunteering. We have to volunteer. We have to serve God. Serve God took care of us, so we have to do that. The passion must be there for the people. And then how we all grow together. We can look back and see what God has brought us through and from, and look forward to what's to come, and to bring others alongside so people can enjoy this life differently. Yes, it's going to be difficult. Yes, there are always going to be challenges, but God gives us a reason to smile every single day. And we got to start focusing a little bit more on that, and then a lot more on our purpose so we can understand why we're really here and enjoy it and not get so caught up with what everything else is going on, because that stuff is going to go on. But why not enjoy the time that you're here? That's what I say. So we're going to create
Awesome.
great time together, connect.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a very impactful group. That means you're helping the young ones to
Yes,
find Christ at a very early stage of their life. And
yes,
you're helping them to also, you get people to educate them on
yes,
how to write books. And
yes,
that's why I tell everyone, I say, we have a book in us. We've been
yes,
through diverse experience in life. And that's why you get to hear a lot of information. People say, oh, the graveyard is the richest place where you have a lot of ideas that never was tapped into. So there is something in you, there is a potential. Everything and everyone God created, God input in them a great potential. There is something inside of Melissa, there is something inside of me, and there is something inside of all our viewers today that makes you unique, that makes you stand out. So the moment we begin to discover ourselves and finding out our strength and finding out who we are, who we are called to be, then
yes,
we can impact our world. So in discovering yourself, it is said a person of value had value to himself.
yes,
And at the same time, he is able to add value to others. If you don't value your life and you don't see value in yourself, there's no way you can help anyone around you. And that's why he said garbage in, garbage out, like the
Mm.
computer. You can give what you don't have.
Yes.
So you've got to grow yourself. You
Mhm.
got to give yourself to discipline and to learning. And
Yes.
so, and I tell everyone, I said the best thing you can ever do to yourself is personal development, which is something that no one can ever take from you. When you grow inside, outside, it's a skill, it's a talent, it's a potential that no one can take inside of you. It lives with you. And you want to also at the same time pass it on to someone else. You want to be a blessing. You don't want it to die with you. You don't want to hoard your gifts. You want to use it to bless the world. So, and that's why I tell everyone, if you look inward, there is something God is giving you. You can be an impactor. You can be a blessing to your world. You can dare to make a difference in your world. Like the team of our show today is making a difference with
Mhm.
Sandra Ukoh. We can dare to make a difference in our world. We can go out there and be a blessing. You know, it's I tell people, I said beyond money, I would rather go with social network rather than going with money. Money will finish, but having the right kind of people around you, the right connection, I can always make that money that I've lost. When you lose money, you can often make it back. But
Yes.
there's some kind of friendship you lose and relationship, not no money can buy you back that relationship. You can get them back to you. So I'm a socialpreneur. I'm a personnel. I love connecting and meeting with people. I love being an impactor, just like Melissa is. She said a lot of things she's doing in her work. And so we learn from each other. You know, I glean from her. She gleans from me. She learns from my strengths, finding out, oh, this is what Sandra does better. I can learn from her. We can learn from each other. We're not here to be rivals to each other. We're not in a competition. It is said that those that compare themselves to themselves are fools. They're not wise.
That's true.
So why
Yes.
do I have to compare myself with Melissa? Melissa has a calling. She's got a path to run, and I've got my path to run. So our paths don't cross. And if it does cross, we can help each other
Yes.
rather than compete with each other. So we are there to help ourselves to grow. So there's another question that came to mind, and I said I was going to find out from you. You said, how are you able to use the fruit of the Spirit as a character strengthening strategy to develop the servant leadership?
The reason why the fruit of the Spirit is being used as the foundation with the Creative Connection Group is because these are the things that the Lord requires of us. And these are the things that we're capable of doing. We're capable of loving, we're capable of having joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self control. With those things put in place as the foundation, it is so possible for all of us to work together for the good of those that love the Lord. And we're able to work with others. And that's what's important, to show the world something different. The world does just the opposite of what this fruit of the Spirit is. So we have to be different. So they'll want to come on our team and see, hey, this side works over here. I enjoy somebody that'll love me in the midst of my difficult day that I'm having with them. We have to show different. We have to pull people in differently. We have to show people what they're not used to. We have to be different. So the fruit of the
Yes.
Spirit is critical in how we talk to people, how we love on people, how we treat them, how we embrace them. No matter what else is going on, they have to see something different. And it works. And it can work. And it
Sure.
can.
Yes, and that's you rightly said it. We are called to be a light. We're called to be different. And how would your word know that it's something different about you if you're
Yes.
not making an impact? So, and that's what you rightly said. We have to go out of our way to love others because
Yes.
we were first love. And how
Yes.
do we show that love? Is by extending our hands of love to others, by being a good representative of Christ, by extending the love that we got from Him. I also want to find out from you, have you been able to manage difficult times? I know that a lot of times when things become difficult for people, some people want to end it, some people are thrown into depression. Some people think, oh, God is not fair on me. How have you been able to go through those difficult moments of your life to
Oh,
becoming the great leader that you are right now?
that's a great question. I can do it personally. How have I handled difficult moments personally? I have handled them horribly. Um, I was not always this way. The first thing that I would do was shut down and not communicate. It took years, 20 years plus to get here. And I have so much work to do, and I'm so grateful.
Awesome.
Dealing with difficulty in family has been a struggle for myself because I forgot that I wasn't supposed to be so emotional. And because I had not matured and sat long enough, I just wanted to respond and hear what I'm saying. And I'm important and my feelings matter. And that is very true. Yet that is not the correct response. The correct response is to sit and talk to God about the person, not to the person about the person when I'm in my emotions and I'm not able to make a clear-cut decision on what to do next. So difficulty with personally, I have not handled well. Just within maybe, let me do the past 11, maybe 11 years, I've gotten a lot better. I'm learning that
We
we do
grow every day.
we do not respond. I will wait to give an answer, and I will do my due diligence in trying and being consistent in that area. I will not respond with an emotion. I will respond later, and I will sit with God first because He has to do some correcting on me so that I can deliver correctly. As far as my work is concerned, coming into a difficult situation, where I work at is difficult. I work with children who are extremely special and they require special attention. And when you're put into a special place, and you've never been around kids that you're like, hold on, whoa, Lord, hold on, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is what you want me to do?
Wow.
I almost missed it because again, I looked at the behavior. I did not look at the fruit of the spirit. I did not look at the joy. I did not see the joy. I saw things flying over my head. And I had to go back and ask her, are you in this? And he explained to me, I am. I need you to show them love. I need the same things you just said. I need you to show them gentleness and kindness. They come from a different background.
Sure.
So it's difficult to see kids that come from such pain and difficulty caused by adults that made some really different decisions.
Nasty mistakes.
And it caused me to have more empathy. And then it caused me to be a lot more grateful. So I'm so thankful to be here because I'm humbled more. I pray every day that I have less and less to complain about. So the difficulty at work became the best thing that I needed at work was to learn to be quiet, learn to be consistent,
Yeah.
be diligent in loving these children, be diligent in staying firm with them. And then
Sure.
out in the world, difficult times, if somebody cut me off in Walmart, I don't say anything. I just like, sure, go ahead, no problem. I know the people behind me are just like, come on, don't let everybody go. I'm just learning some things just aren't that important to me. And that is rude behavior. That is true. And then we end up talking because I don't want to give the energy that you're giving. Because you could have just had a bad day. And I've learned sometimes to have a different conversation with them. Hey, how's it going? Oh, you were standing here. And I'm like, yeah, I was standing here. Oh, my fault. Oh, no problem. And then it's over. So learning
Yeah.
to handle difficulty is putting me back, being responsible for my own attitude, and then figuring out and accessing that situation, using discernment. Is it really this important that I have to go to another? Why am I doing that? I only came here to get bread. I should not be angry coming out the store just getting a loaf of bread. There's too much going on that it's just not this serious. And I'm finding out when you calm yourself and you're calm, it sometimes affects the people around you and they can
It
kind of
does.
bring
It
it down.
does.
And then you're talking and laughing and going to your car and they're like, I'll see you later. And then there you go, you met someone else. So handling difficult situations has caused me to gain more self-control that I've asked God for, and then more gentleness toward people. So I've handled it wrong by being emotional. Now I'm trying to be more consistent in the fruit of the spirit that I would like to see delivered, gentleness more so than anything.
Kindness. Oh, awesome. I'd just like us to go for just a 1 minute break, water break. Then we'll
Yes.
be back. Yeah, welcome back from
Okay.
a break. Awesome. You just rightly said it that you do not, pay evil for evil. You go out of your way to show love. And that's why you spoke about the fruits of the Spirit. And I've learned too, I think it's maturity. When you get a certain point in life, maturity sets in. Even when you don't want to do it. I've just learned to be calm. I had difficult times. I was on live show, my internet, everything went down. If it was in the past, maybe 10 years ago, I'll be agitated and worried. I'll be, fuming and like, why? But this time around, I've learned to be happy even in difficult situations and smile, and just know that God is in control.
Yeah.
These two will pass away. This is
Yeah.
just a crying of my faith. This is building me up for tomorrow. This is getting me ready for all this that God wants me to touch. Because sincerely, when we go through diverse and difficult situations, it's not for us. It's for
Yeah.
those coming behind us. And
Yes.
that's why a lot of times we must look beyond the
Mm-hmm.
situations and like, God, who do you want me to impact? Who do you want me to reach out to? What are you trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you are ready to get promoted to the next level, God sees the willingness. In difficult times, she's smiling. She's going out of her way to serve. She's volunteering. She's not staying in the corner and say, why me, Lord? She's going out of her way and she's stretching herself. Then you're ready. And that's what happened in school. When we have our kids in school, once you fail a class, you repeat the class.
Yes.
Once you do well, you are lifted to the next level. And that's it comes to the things of God too. When we're past the level which we are, God sees us that we are matured. He gives us another word. And that's why I tell people, I said, challenges would always, like the book I wrote, challenges will always be there as long as you're living. The only time you stop having challenges is when you're no longer on the side of the planet. Maybe you're gone. But as long as you live,
Mm-hmm.
there are two people in this life. Either those who are just coming out of challenges and preparing to enter another world, or those who are just getting into it afresh.
Yes.
So you never stop being into. You have to be ready, battle ready every time, ready
Mm-hmm.
to go through it. And what, like one of the quotes from my book says, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing it, being afraid,
Yes.
taking a dive, taking the risk and say, whatever it may be, I'll make it, I'll try. And never taking a no for an answer, never saying no, never giving a negative answer. Always ready. Even when the task is given to you, can you do the job? I'll try. I'll make an attempt. Rather than saying I cannot do it. I don't think I have the skill. But in saying the word that I'll try, I'll make an attempt. The grace and the power of God comes. And
Mm.
you are able to do it. You are able to overcome. So I don't take no for an answer. Even when it seems that I can't meet the deadline, I've seen a supernatural grace and power help me meet my deadline and even go beyond it. So this is just for us to look outward. Outward, look outward. You need to look inward, knowing that you've got the skill to do it. Then you can impact your world. If you don't see it in yourself, there's no way you can make a change. There's no way you can be a blessing. And that's why we're all called to be lifelong learners. As long as you live, you
Mm-hmm.
have to keep learning. The moment you stop learning, you start dying gradually. You start forgetting everything you've learned in time past. So we keep learning. And I'm sure that's one of the forces that's kept you being self-driven, always wanting to help, looking for ways to be a blessing. Excuse me. So I just have another question for you. How do you enjoy great moments of accomplishment? Because I know that you just told us about difficult moments. And there are times in lives that are great accomplishments, great success. As a servant leader, have you been able to go through this process when you achieved great success? Have you been able to celebrate it with your teams?
I celebrate it with the team. I do. I celebrate it with the team. I go all out. We have a great time. We enjoy ourselves. We not just pump each other up, but we continuously talk about it, and then it becomes their lifestyle. Personally, I'm just now learning how to celebrate success. I know it sounds really off, but yeah, I even waited to celebrate myself after I graduated. because I had to remember that I need to learn how to stop and celebrate Melissa. Because I know how to celebrate everyone. I do. And I love it. And I'm there. I open the party and close the party. I'm there. I'm here for it.
Awesome.
What I realize is that I have to learn to celebrate Melissa and not just behind the scenes. So this year I'm doing it. I didn't do it all those other times, but this year I'm making a determination to get it done because I'm proud of myself. But I do need to do that. I do.
Yeah, that's a great one you said. There's this saying to me that resonated with me, and I don't know, and that should be so for others. The more you praise and celebrate your life, the
Mm-hmm.
more God gives you more to celebrate in life. So, whatever condition, whatever situation you find yourself, be thankful, be grateful, show gratitude. Not only when things are difficult, you now speak about negative times.
Mm-hmm.
So, I often tell myself the more I show gratitude, the more God gives me more reasons to celebrate life. So, I want you to know that whatever the situations can be, yes, it can be hard, it can be difficult, but we can go through it. We can, in that midst of difficult times, show some sign of celebration,
Yes.
some sign of gratitude. Have learned to show gratitude in every situation. That God, this could be more than this. Even when I have accidents, when I fell and I was on crutches, I've learned to say, "Well, I thank you, but
Yes.
this could be more than this." But you stopped it. Maybe my leg could have been amputated, but you
Mm-hmm.
did not allow this to go further. So, in every condition, in every situation, no matter how bad the situation might be looking or might seems to be, we ought to learn to give gratitude to God. It is said that gratitude lifts you up,
Mm-hmm.
but when you're depressed, it brings you down, and it brings a lot of negative things to you.
Mm-hmm.
It drags sickness, pains, bitterness, hatred. That's what it does when you're less grateful. But when you are happy, even in your difficult moments, it brings all the fruits of the spirit. You're joyful, you are strong, you are not sick,
Mm-hmm.
you have in abundance to give to others. It attracts every positive thing in your life because you are grateful.
Yes.
So I think that's number one for us. We should hold on to being grateful in whatever condition. And that's what the Bible expects us to do. Be
Yes.
grateful. Like I think there's a part in the Bible that says, rejoice evermore.
Yes.
The following verse says, pray without ceasing. And the third verse says, be thankful in whatever condition you find yourself. Because there are going to be difficult moments. There are going to be painful moments. There are going to be times that things seem not to be working out for you. But when you learn to put all this together and be thankful, even when there is low, when you're in low, when you're good, when you're average, when you're great, God shows up for you all the time. Other times, things didn't go as expected in your journey. How did you undo such?
There are many times that on this journey things have shifted. And I'm so very thankful to have people that are honest with me. One person in particular, her discernment is so key, and it's something that helped me not ask so many questions that I don't believe God will give me because I don't think I really can handle the answer. The shifting on the journey has opened my eyes to trust Him on a level that I've never trusted Him before, and an experience that is so humbling to be around, to be involved in, even when it looks like what people think it is, but they just can't see the great things that are on the horizon. The shifting helps, not staying in the same place, not doing the same thing, doing something different
Sure.
made me just, I'm actually still in awe. I'm amazed at where my life has come within the past year. Just the different things that He's allowed me to see behind the scenes, the people that trust me in places I would have never thought. I have conversations with people that are mind blowing to me. The Lord is something amazing, even when it looks unexplainable, even when it's, people say it doesn't make any sense. It makes the perfect sense. because he's keeping his perfect peace over me, even in the midst of all the shifting on the journey. It is an amazing place to be sitting here talking to you. How would I have known you? I, this just wouldn't have happened because I would have been busy doing something else, serving, growing, and educating. And because he shown me it's time to embrace, to be around, to activate those things that are within you, that I place inside of you. I got a chance to meet Sandra, and I only heard your voice one time. And I said, Lord, I want to know, who is she? I was intrigued just by your voice. I remember what you talked about, and I even wrote it out in my journal. And I was like, wow, that was a wonderful thing to say about the openness of the gate. And I just knew I wanted to talk to you after that. I could not explain why. I didn't do any research. I didn't know anything else about you. Your voice commanded me to get to know you. So if
Thank
it was
you.
not for the different shifting, we wouldn't be here today. So I'm
Yeah,
great.
and that's why we are called to be connectors.
Yes.
We're there to help people. Because I just found that you reached out to me and I was excited. Because sometimes you feel discouraged. True. In this journey, you just feel, well, am I doing what God wants me to do? Am I in the right part? And you find that people come to say, oh, you blessed me. I like what you just said. I want to connect with you. I feel encouraged and I feel that this is only grace. It's not my doing, it's just the grace of God over my life. I am not better. I've been through difficult times myself. I know what life could be, and I am grateful for this opportunity to impact and talk to people. Yes, I am talking to people and I'm not getting feedbacks, no thank you, but I'm not looking out for the thank you. I'm happy with what I'm doing, that I'm touching lives. I might not get to meet with some of the people I am reaching out to, but I'm in line with God's will. And what excites me is I'm doing what my father wants me to do, and that's enough for me. That's enough motivating factor. That's enough to thrill me and to move me to doing more. Because sometimes I know sometimes as leaders, when we do things, we tend to ask ourselves, why am I doing this? Am I sure I'm called to do it? Or am I not doing it based on emotions, trying to please people? These are questions we want to ask ourselves. Are we in line with what God wants us to do?
Yes.
Are we doing what God wants? Are we doing it because somebody else is doing it? We must find out the reason, the why. And in knowing your why, when things don't work out well, you are calm. You know who sent you. You can go back to him and say, God, you take care of the situation. You
Yeah.
sent me, you manage, you give me the grace to bear. And that's why I spoke about courage.
Yeah.
Courage doesn't mean there is no fear. There's always fear. But
Mhm.
courage is doing it even while afraid. And whilst doing it, as you keep doing it over and over again, you get good. And so I tell people, I said, no leader God doing anything once the best every time they started. The first time you start anything, you're never perfect the first time. But as you keep doing it over time, you get good. You keep improving and you get there. And somebody sees you somewhere and says, oh, you're just a fantastic speaker. But you have difficult moments where you started, when you were all fears and you're jittery and everything is not working. When I
Yeah.
started with the Toastmasters, I was like that. I tend to stammer when I'm speaking. And I'm afraid. Everybody's looking at me. I don't know what to say next. And sometimes I forget my lines because I'm just too concerned about what are people saying about me. But this time around, I am only concerned what are the people getting from what I'm doing. Are they being impacted? I am not moved by what people say now because people would often talk about you. As
Yes.
long as you're leaving,
Mm-hmm.
come and be sure that people will always sit there and talk about you. And that's why they're called backbiters. They
Mm-hmm.
stay on the back. They're never in front of you. You keep moving ahead, and they just stay in the back and they keep discussing you. But you were moving. So we should care more about what are we doing. Is it pleasing our Father? Is it touching lives? Is it, leaving a mark in the sand of times? Are
Mm.
you impacting your word? That should be our priority. And
Yes.
that's why, I said we can all dare to make a difference because we're unique. We are
Yes.
not like even the two identical twins from the same parents
Mm-hmm.
don't have the same fingerprints
True. They do
and
not.
do not look alike. Their stories are never the same because different people respond differently to
Yeah.
situations. Yes, they are identical twins, but they never would respond to situation alike. One might be calm, one might be very fast moving, as in someone that's not calm, an extrovert. So there are no two people that have the same fingerprints, everything, the same way of acting and responding to situations. We are all unique in our calling. We are different, and God has made us different, and that's what makes it fun.
Yes.
Melissa is different. She speaks a different language. I speak from another country, another state, another tribe, and that's what makes. And it says the spice of life is when we're different.
Yes.
I want to thank our viewers for being on this show today. And as we wrap up today's meeting, I want to find out from you. You have any unique story, something you want to share that maybe my question never brought out from you, but you want to leave just something behind. So while you're thinking about that, I want to check out the comment section to find if there's any questions from
Okay.
our viewers or any comments. Yeah, I got well said, Melissa. That's a comment for you. So well said, Melissa, about using the fruit of the spirit for impacting the youths, the leaders, and our day-to-day life.
Wow.
Awesome. Another person said, you are doing great. Well done. So you got some nice comment here. And so before we call it a day, do you have anything you want to say? Just call it a day.
Yes, the last thing that I would love to share with everyone that's watching is Ashes to Beauty is a book. It is. It's a wonderful book. I love it. I'm thankful that I wrote it. It's a lifestyle for me. I wear the t-shirt as a reminder and also as a reflection so that people can see this was a beautiful rose. But I love, love, love the ashes because if God had not allowed my ashes, I would not see the beauty. And I wear this shirt as a lifestyle that for all of us, we have some ashes, but the Lord surely is making us beautiful inside and out, and we're all capable of living our truth and being wonderful, wonderful people. So I'm excited to have met you all. Thank you so much for your time and listening. And just remember that you're super duper awesome. And that is really how I talk, Sharia. And
Yeah.
I say super duper. So thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Melissa Wilson. And thank you, our viewers. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel, Juliet, Abiola, and everyone. I'm not able to mention your name, but I want to say thank you to our viewers. And thank you once more for making that time out of your tight schedule.
Thank you.
And do have a blessed evening till our next episode. Let's go out there to dare to make a difference in our world.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Love you all.
Love you too.